Greetings, everyone. I'm John Murphy, and today I'm going to talk about the four temperaments as depicted by the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. In earlier sessions, we talked about the 8 letters, the 8 disciplines, introversion, extroversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, and perceiving and judging. So the 8 disciplines, which I reference in detail in the book, The 8 Disciplines. And of those 8 disciplines, we're naturally gifted at 4. And we've talked in other videos about how we can apply those 4 to creative problem solving, just to group and team dynamics, so many different uses. And today we're going to look at the temperaments. Now the temperaments represent patterns of behavior that you can see back in Greek mythology. These patterns, these temperaments, reflected in Native American tribes, the indigenous cultures. So these are patterns of behavior that have been studied and documented for centuries, in so many years. And the Myers-Briggs does an interesting job in terms of bringing these out as temperaments. So the 4 temperaments are the combination of 2 of the 4 letters in your type. The SP, the sensing perceiving type, the SJ, the sensing judging type, the NF, the intuitive feeling type, and the NT, the intuitive thinking type. So I'm going to walk through each of these 4 temperaments. I use this a lot when I'm first just trying to read people because they're so distinctly different and even humorous in lots of ways. So a lot of television sitcoms, creative writing have designed into different team dynamics or family dynamics, group dynamics, characters around these 4 temperaments, which I'll come back to and talk about in a minute. But let's start with the SP temperament. The sensing perceiving type tends to come off as very playful. In fact, for the SP, a lot of careers, the work is play, whether it's driving a bulldozer or a crane, or it's playing professional baseball, or it's whatever it is the SP is typically doing. It's important that it be fun, that work is play, because play is a very important value to the SP. All right, the need for speed and action. All right, especially if it's an extroverted SP. Now the SJ temperament, the sensing judgment temperament, is much more serious, much more about duty and responsibility and identity and title and nurturing, very nurturing temperament. So the SJ is often found in nursing, for example, or in teaching in some cases. It's also very common among managers, okay, particularly middle managers. So it's serious. It's that responsibility to the job. Now the NF, the intuitive feeling type, is very Shakespearean. To be or not to be, that is the question, you know, and it's very soulful and searching for meaning in life and very philosophical. And so my mission is to figure out my mission, okay? And it's very popular in the arts, this temperament, very popular in politics. A lot of politicians, including some of our United States presidents over the years, have been intuitive feeling types. All right. It's a very heartful temperament, if you will, and where you see a lot of passion and heart. And then there's the NT, the intuitive thinking type. Now, this is often referred to as the executive type. It's the intellectual type. It's in search of competence. And the NT tends to only value your input, so to speak, if they see you as competent. So competence seeks competence. And now at the same time, with any type or any temperament, there can be a downside, so to speak, if we're not careful. So the NT could become or be perceived as pompous, arrogant, you know, high on themselves. The NF could be perceived as just too far out there and irresponsible. The SP could be considered irresponsible. It's all about play and might be my best friend and somebody I can tell anything to, but I don't think I could hire you because I don't know that I can trust you to, meet deadlines or things like that. And the SJ is so serious and so rigid that it just not considered fun, or that they come off as critical and judgmental. So we learn about our temperaments, we play with our temperaments, and we enjoy the differences. So one of my favorite shows going way back that really shows the temperaments well, and you can play with this on any television show or movie or film, but it's the show Cheers. Way back in the day when there was Sammy Malone, the bartender. If you know anything about Sammy Malone, he was an ex-Boston Red Sox baseball player, drove a fast car, a Corvette, was an alcoholic, went off the deep end there just a little bit, and is now running a bar, Sammy Malone. And now if you think about the temperaments, he's the classic SP, a need for speed. Oops, I went a little bit overboard. But very playful and fun, so to speak. The SJ in the show, that loyal, dependable, hardworking person who's identified with title, or in this case maybe even a uniform or a set of keys, would be Cliff the mailman. Rain or snow or sleet, we're going to get your mail to you. So it's very dutiful temperament. The Shakespearean NF would be Diane. Okay, she's dreaming about being a ballerina one day, or an actress, or a writer, or a poet, and meanwhile she's waiting tables at Cheers. Okay, so very out there in some ways. And then the NT, that potentially pompous intellectual, would be Fraser in the show. How often does he reference his Harvard education and his knowledge about this and that? So it's a fun way to play with the temperaments, to see how people are different, how they can add value, and also how we can stumble and fall if we're not conscious and careful of our natural type and the types of things that can get us into trouble. So those are the four temperaments. Again, a wonderful tool in that the Myers-Briggs offers. I use it myself and have for decades. I urge you to take a look at it. I'm John Murphy. I'm here to help. Stay tuned. More to come. God bless.